Are you thinking about selling part of your Pokemon collection because of how the Pokemon market is right now? Well, if so, then this video is for you. What is going on, my Hound Doom pack? Today, I just want to go over a little bit about my experience with panic selling things, if the market's not doing so hot, what you should do from my experience. Again, this is not financial advice. This is not any sort of stuff that you should necessarily do unless you feel that it's helpful for you. So you're thinking about, because the market is down in Pokemon a little bit or is in a correction stage, that maybe you should start selling off at the prices that things are right now. What I would suggest is not doing so. And you might say, well, why wouldn't you? The market's obviously correcting, things are falling. Why shouldn't I? And I would say, in my experience of 6 years buying and selling Pokemon products, especially when it comes to sealed products, that you should never ever sell whenever you're in a panic mode to sell. And you should never really be selling in a market where the buyer has more power than you do. I can go over a few experiences and examples of this in today's video. The first example that I'll go through is that I believe it was either 2020 or 21. The Black Friday sale at Walmart was this Jirachi GX collection box. These things, they had a ton of them. It wasn't like it is now where everything gets bought up if it's for a good deal. There was just so many of these sitting. I think I got in between 18 to 25 of these. I don't remember. But I, spent the money on them, and then they were taking up a bunch of room. And I was like, well, maybe I should just break these down. They had one Evolutions pack in them, which Evolutions I think were at like $15 to $20 a piece then, something like that. And I was like, I'll just sell the Evolutions off, get most of my money back, and then save the rest of the packs or sell off the promos. I think I sold the Jirachi GX full art in that box off at like bulk pricing, so probably like under $1 or like $1 a piece. And in hindsight, I was like, maybe I just overly thought about it and panicked a little bit about how much I had spent on all of these, and if they were really going to go up in value, or if they were going to sit around and just take up loads of space forever. But if we look at the data, and we look at what they're going for right now, this was obviously not a good choice. This is just one example of that you shouldn't panic sell because you think something is not going to go up or the market is not exactly where you want it to be. Another example is these Evolution tins that were at Target. I believe these were $10 a piece on a Black Friday sale a few years ago, or maybe it was, I don't remember if this was 2020 or 2021 or which the Jirachi was, or if they were both at the same time and the Jirachi was at Walmart and these were at Target. But there was the Evolution versions of these, and then there was also a Necrozma GX, Ho-Oh GX, and I forgot what the other one was. But I bought these for $10 a piece. I probably had, between the Necrozma and the Evolutions, I probably had like 20 to 25 tins in total. And like I said, this was before all these buyouts and stuff like that. Whenever I went in to get these tins, whenever I got the ones that I wanted, there was probably at least like 25, 30 still left on the shelves, because this was at a different time period. It might have even been 2019. I'm not sure, but now we can go and look at the data at these, or even the Necrozma Ho-Oh GX ones, and see how far it's come from $10. But at the time, I had a bunch of them sitting around, and I don't know if I just didn't believe in the product, or I just thought, well, maybe these are going up a little bit, so maybe I can just like triple my money, sell them for like $30-$40 a piece, and then go about my day. And I think I even opened some just to try to get some hits out of them. But it's another example of, don't panic whenever you think it's time to sell something off. Oftentimes that is not the time to sell it off. Just give it more time. Obviously everybody has different circumstances on why they would want to panic sell something, but I would strongly advise not doing so. There's plenty more examples that I could give. Another good example is the original Charizard UPC. Those were going below retail price, and a lot of people just discarded them. I even saw people selling below what they were going for on different websites. I think at one point they were like $90 a piece, and some people were selling them for like 70. And it's just, not a good idea to sell under those circumstances. I will give an example or a circumstance in which I think that it is time to sell, and that is in raw cards. If you see something spike abnormally, a buyout is pretty much what it is. We can, you can see from the data on Tcgplayer that if something just all of a sudden sells 300 copies and goes from being a $5 card to a $15 or $20 card, or even higher than that, then maybe it's time to take advantage of that particular card. And I wouldn't even call that panic selling. I would say that you need to sell now before people start listing these and it goes into a major correction stage, because the only reason why it jumped that much is because of a buyout. So in that case, if you're like, well, this card went from $5 to $30 or $40 within, a couple week time frame, I would say that you're not panic selling, you're making a good move. I've done that several times. I had, I think, like 10 to 12 copies of the Umbreon Star from Celebrations. Some that were not centered that good, still considered near mint, nothing wrong with them, just a little bit off centered, wouldn't get 10s at PSA. And whenever the Umbreon jumped, I spent about $14 a piece on each one of my Umbreon Stars from Celebrations. I think they jumped to something like 60, 70, or $80 a piece, and I sold a few off. And that gave me, all the money that I spent on those back. And then I also graded some. I have 2 PSA 10 copies of the Umbreon Gold Star that I bought for $14 in my collection right now, that I graded myself. Another one is the Deoxys VMAX from the Crown Zenith set. I believe it's Deoxys VMAX. That I think I bought copies of that whenever they're like $8 to $10 a piece. They jumped up to, I think it was like 40. I sold a couple of those off. They might have even jumped higher than that. I can't really remember, but in those cases, in raw cards, I would say look at the data, and if a card jumps a significant amount, you need to probably go ahead and sell that off, unless you plan on grading them or they're like 10 worthy raw cards. Then I would obviously keep those and grade those. But that's just a little bit about not panic selling, especially when dealing with sealed product. 9 times out of 10, in my experience, and people can say, well, you've only been in 6 years, so you really don't have a good perspective of time and what Pokemon does. There's people like Nostalgianomics, people like that have been far longer than me, and it's always the same story, is that, and even Rudy from Alpha Investments, it's Alpha Investments, it's, you know, on a long enough time frame of holding sealed product in Pokemon, it's going to go up. I don't care if it sells below retail right now. 5 to 8 years from now, it'll probably be selling for much, much more than you paid for it. So, as I said, don't panic sell, is my opinion, not financial advice. As far as raw cards go, do your due diligence and look at the data. Well, Pack, that's all for today. I appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. At 1K subscribers, we are giving away a PSA 10 Crown Zenith Pikachu and Astral Radiance pack to one lucky subscriber. Make sure that your subscription is public. You must do that so I can see it. So whenever I go to do the giveaway, I can insert your name because I cannot see people that are not public. Please like, comment, and even share if you can this video. In the description, there will be links to where you can support my channel via shopping from me, either by my Pokedoom Collectibles website or my Tcgplayer. If you search the store name TDS Cards INC, you can pull my store up and shop from me there. I'm not affiliated with Tcgplayer or any other website. You would strictly just be supporting me through purchasing something from me. If you can, take a look at my shorts. And I appreciate you watching. And as always, stay safe out there, Pack.